Hey guys, it's Naya and welcome to our Thursday chat. So I know I skipped out. Actually, I think I was here last week. I think we talked about our last week of gratefulness, but the week before that, I know that it was Thanksgiving, and so I wasn't, of course, here at the office. I was at home with my family and friends celebrating and having gratitude. However, I am back, and this month, if this is the first time you're watching or catching the replay, we filmed this live, but this is the first month of our new theme. Not the first month, this is the first week of our new theme, and it's December. We're talking about the basics of minimalism because we're talking about simple living. And you know what, I really thought about, like, what do I want to talk about for December? You know, this is a time of the year that counseling gets at an all-time high in scheduling, and everyone wants to come in and talk about, you know, family trauma, and they want to talk about things that are happening in their life and just how stressful the holidays are, because for a lot of people they are. And so I thought to myself, do I want to talk about like how to deal with, you know, family, or how to deal with things over the holiday or financial stress? But then I was like, no, like I actually want to help you by providing the most basic and practical, simplistic way of living, which I have found to be the art of minimalism. And so that's what I want to talk about. This theme for this month is called Simple Joy. And so we're just talking about like ways to spark joy in December and for the holidays that don't break your pocket, that don't force you to sit around the table and talk to people you don't like, and simply don't have you living and pretending and being something that you don't want to be, just for the sake of the holidays. And so the idea of consumerism and the idea of trying to, people kill themselves going out trying to buy gifts and put themselves in debt and trying to be a certain way when their family comes and have this perfect life, this perfect image, and just getting rid of that. And so I want to talk about a more simpler way of living. And this is something that I've actually been personally interested in for the last, I would say 6 months or so, really almost a year. I started off with reading Marie Kondo's book, which is The Magic Art of Tidying Up, or the Japanese Art of Tidying Up. And it's a really great book that introduced me to the idea of like getting rid of things and decluttering and organizing my life in a way that I was just really concerned about the things that I was bringing in. And so I started to implement that, but I also found like things like the minimalists, I can't remember their names, but if I think of it, I'll put the information in the chat box. But they have a podcast, they had a movie on Netflix. And so I started watching a lot of those things. I started reading more books about the joy of less, and really understanding like that I didn't need a lot of things to make me happy, and that I needed the right things to make me happy. Then I started to really realize that my clients could benefit from this, because a lot of times clients were coming in and they were very overwhelmed with everything that was happening in their lives. They had so much on their plate. They were busy. They were always doing, running. And I realized that they could really utilize the simple art of just being. And so I've been taking this actual practical thing that I was working on into my business and helping people with some of the principles that I've been learning. And so that's what I'm bringing to you. I feel like it took me a long time to get to that point, but that's what I am bringing to you guys this month. And so for 3 weeks, we're going to be talking about like what are some simple joys and how you guys can actually implement some of these things right away, because you know I'm big about practicality and being sure to give you guys practical tips that you can use right after you watch this. So if you're watching this and you want to comment, please do so. If you're catching the replay, still comment. You can send like the emojis and the different things. I don't know, I feel like an old person. But you can communicate and articulate anything you need to in the chat box, or you can send a message to us if you like something or have questions. Any resources that I talk about, I will go ahead and put in the comment box so that you guys will be able to get to that information. So let's talk about today really fast, nasty, because I'm trying to get out of here and get home. What is simple living? Like, what does that actually mean? And what is minimalism? Like what does that mean? And really, when you get started in this journey, if you're interested in this, you're gonna find tons of information out there, and it's gonna look like minimalism having nothing. That's what it's gonna look like. In order to be a minimalist, you have to pack up your whole life and follow Jesus. And like part of that is true, right? You want to follow Jesus because I'm Christian, and that's like the way to go. But the other part is that you don't have to like get rid of everything to be called a minimalist. It's really the art of essentially trying to live in a way that reduces the things that you have that prevent you from experiencing happiness. So sometimes those things could be articles of things like clothing, paper, clutter, extra kitchen utensils. And also it can be other things like relationships or like too many part-time jobs and too many side hustles. It could be a lot of different things that get in the way of you enjoying your life. And so that's what I have been thinking about and really trying to consider. And here are 3 things that I want to give you guys that really help with starting that process that you're going to learn about if you decide to dive deeper into this or get more information. The first one, the first practical, I would say, component of trying to live in a minimalist lifestyle, minimalist, I can't talk after 5 p.m., so this is just what you guys are getting, but is decreasing clutter. Like that is like the number one thing. And of course, when you start this journey, getting rid of things that you have in access is super important. So like I started doing this in my actual home, and it's crazy because I'm not the person to get rid of stuff. I'm actually the gross hoarder. My husband is the person who likes to get rid of a lot of things. But I started going through my stuff and being like, I don't need these things. Like I started just going through things like makeup. I had so much old makeup that I'm never gonna wear. Nail polish. I get my nails done. Like I don't even need nail polish. I don't polish my nails myself. But body lotions. So many body lotions for me. Like Bath and Body. I still had, if anyone who still remembers like old that, I had cucumber melon. Cucumber, like the old school cucumber melon, like that you wore in 5th grade. I still had it. Why did I still have that? I am not trying to smell like a 5th grader. So basically I had to go through all of my things and decrease all of the clutter and minimize all of my stuff that I had. The second principle that is going to be a part of this journey is starting to not bring things into your house. Once you're getting rid of things, you don't want to bring more things in. So as I was getting rid of body lotions and getting rid of things, I had to be mindful of going to the store and smelling body lotions and being like, ooh, I'm going to get this, and being like, wait, no, I just got rid of a ton of stuff. It doesn't make any sense. I don't wear body lotions. I'm literally ashy 99% of the time. So, I mean, it just didn't make sense for me to go out and buy any body butters because I clearly don't use them. They're just not important to me, unfortunately. So also, like, you want to also, a big area for people is to think about is clothes. So one of the rules that I got down to was I just got rid of most of my wardrobe. My wardrobe takes like maybe 30% of, not even, probably like 20% of my closet space now. I just got rid of a lot of stuff that I just wasn't going to wear. If I put it on and I didn't feel great in it, or I thought, oh, if I just had to stand like this and suck in my stomach, it would look good, I got rid of it because it just wasn't fitting me. And so also something I did to minimize my stuff was I tried to go ahead and say, if I am going to bring in a new sweater, like I went shopping for Black Friday, so I bought some items, I made sure to get rid of things. Like if I put 4 things in my closet, I took 4 things out. And so I just kept this rule that I wasn't going to keep adding stuff because, of course, then you're creating more clutter, and that's the opposite of what you want to do. So it's constantly trying to minimize and keep that organization going so that you don't have as much overwhelm in your life. You don't have your closets not overwhelming and bulging out. We live in a very materialistic and consumer-driven society, and so what people are finding is that it's really impacting their mental health. And so these are some things that, if you're considering this, will help you to step back and try to bring balance to your life, which could also help your emotional life. The last thing, the last principle that I think of minimalism is trying to value simplistic things. So, you know, sometimes we only value things that, you know, you might value, for example, Starbucks coffee, which I value Starbucks coffee too. But I also realized that I can make my own coffee and put a little whipped cream on top and a little sprinkle of something, and then I had a Starbucks coffee. But for some reason, it kind of felt like when I had Starbucks, it just felt better, and I felt better as a person. And I had to realize that just because, you know, it's okay to treat yourself to things once in a while, but not everything has to become a lifestyle. And that can be an issue for some of us, especially if we're trying to keep up with the Joneses. We start to lose value in the simple things. We try to put a lot of value and investment in complicated things or complicated situations, and even invest in complicated relationships because we can't value the simplicity of something that's very simple. So that is, I think, a basic practical skill that is part of the principle of having a minimalist life or trying to be in the journey of minimalism. Now, of course, I could have this all wrong because I am not a minimalist know-it-all. I am just someone who's interested in it and has found that some of the principles I can use with my clients in therapy and also offering it to you. So hopefully this has been helpful for you guys. If it hasn't, I'm really sorry. This is the best that I can do at 7:34 after seeing like 10 clients today. But I think that it gets a good point across. And I think it helps people to provide some insight into small areas of change that you can make, which is what I'm trying to do each week when I hop on and talk to you guys, is helping you guys to make small change in hopes to make big change later. So put some comments down about some things that you could want to start doing to try to live a simple life this holiday and not get yourself caught up in all of the humbug of like Christmas shopping and trying to get gifts and trying to let everyone know you care about them, and spending time with people that you really don't care about, or investing in relationships that you no longer serve you. Please know that we have a group for women called Perfectly Imperfect, and you can click to join the group. And we actually are having a minimalist challenge next week. So if you're actually interested in trying out our challenge, you can hop on that group or a request to get into the group, and we'll be able to get you in to get in that challenge. Okay, you guys have a great Thursday. I am off for today. I'm gonna go home and live my best life by going to sleep because I'm tired. But you guys enjoy, and I'll talk to you guys next week. Okay, all right, bye.